let me give you a quick rundown where you were. You had just checked into the local inn there in Crosshaven, and
Hmm.
you had all decided to get baths. They fixed you a little food, but it was kind of late after you guys had gotten the coolant and everything like that. So you were doing that. There was actual showers in the rooms and things like that. Too is I'm going to put you guys all down in the morning, unless anything wants to happen while I pull up these notes. I'm going to put you four down there in the room or in the morning hours. Say you guys got a good night's sleep, and it'll just be you four at the table, just now having your meal. Uh, and they actually take credits in Crosshaven, so you could actually mark 5 credits off for your meal and your morning cup of whatever you need to stay alive. So I'll go ahead and let you guys kind of talk about it and go from there while I pull up the notes.
It was a good thing we got our topping ourselves off at that, but a heck of a lot more time than what we were expecting whenever we pulled into town. That's for certain.
Yeah. Now we're in Crosshaven.
And you are
This
at the
is
Crossroads Inn and Tavern,
yep.
and you're
Did
uh,
we have a map? I thought we had a map.
I dropped a little city pin area. Also dropped a map of.
No, I mean in character. I thought we had a map, not the one that you dropped in there. I thought we had a map that was something local that was current, not pre-riffs.
Oh, okay. I do know. Remember, as walked in and went through security, they had like one of those little maps that they used to, kind of like what they put up at amusement parks, to just kind of give you a reference to take a look at things.
Right.
I
You
think
like
that was
you
up
are
on.
here. Yeah.
You are here.
Mhm. Crosshaven is its primary uh, is is trade for adventurers headed west and down to Independence, and then also up to Tolkien and those northern areas. It also has a road basically goes to Chillicothe. If you look in the Discord map, I had posted a little map of the area. I had posted a little map of the area if you look in Tolkien Gamer Pled, and it's got, I got a red, green, blue, and yellow area, just so that you can kind of see where everything's at. You guys are at the green with Crosshaven. Things at you guys are at the green with Crosshaven,
Right.
and then
Now
blues
I'm
down.
assuming that Millhaven is somewhere in between Chillicothe and
It's no,
Crosshaven.
it'll be north
North of
up in
Crosshaven?
Iowa.
Okay.
It's yeah, because you guys have been progressively heading Iowa.
Okay.
It's yeah, because you guys have been progressively heading south because Tolkien's up in Minnesota. I think it's Minnesota or Michigan, but anyway, it's north of Iowa.
Okay.
So you guys have already went through Iowa down those little towns and everything. Iowa down those little towns and everything, and you guys are at Crosshaven,
That's right. We
and
started
then
in Tolkien, we went through Iowa, and now we're at the top of Missouri.
mhm. And you guys would know that Chillicothe does not trade with Independence. Chillicothe does not trade with Independence.
Yes, because that's CS and Independence is independent.
Now, in the entire state of Missouri, not including Kingsdale and Wykeene down there at the bottom, because they're their own almost independent thing in the entire state of Missouri now. Just to kind of let you guys understand that
Yeah.
Crosshaven has a population of 400. Independence, you from what you can gather from local traffic, is a very interesting place, and it's got 3,500. Again, they will trade with anybody. They'll give refuge to who needs it, but not a lot of people, for some reason, they say the pyramid is a little bit eerie there. Some people say the pyramid's eerie, so
So the 3,500 was in Independence, or was that in Chillicothe?
it is of around 60,000 because it's a CS city.
Yep.
Um, and I may be the Chillicothe may be just a hair closer to Illinois, but for all intents and purposes, unless you guys want to cut over to Chillicothe, I just kind of just stuck it there for you guys to just where you're at.
I got
So
60 King, Chillicothe. And you said how much were in the whole state? 200 some
about
thousand?
about 200,000, if that,
Okay.
because the demon gate is there.
Right.
Also, Coalition they try to send patrol away from Crosshaven because they actually send people through Crosshaven. But Crosshaven, with it having some mercenary contacts and also it's kind of an independent area of its own, the Coalition just will stop in, maybe have a little bit of a ruckus every once in a while, but most of the time they just kind of stay to the outskirts, trade for supplies if they need it, or just kind of come in and razz. But they haven't been. You would find out through talking to Martha Henderson. That she just tells you that the coalition boys don't even stay the night or anything. They might come in and eat and spread their message of what the good Emperor Prozac is doing, and how he's going to make the world a safer place, and how he's going to make the world a safer place, and you know, give you that good vibe there, and go from that's how that goes. But the big bustle in the town is that the Golden Shields are here, and she says, it's increased traffic. She says, it's increased traffic in the town by 30%, and profit that money's kind of pouring in there because people know that they've been here for several months, and the area has safened up. If it's a demon, if it's a magical monster or anything around in this area, they get rid of it. So anyway, I'm going to open it up to you guys, let you ask questions, and do a little role play here, and then just feel free to ask questions about the town, and I'll be glad to answer them.
Were you able to learn anything from that lady Chen whenever you spoke with her yesterday? I didn't get a chance to ask you, Gage.
That I should spend more time talking with machines. That's what she said. I did learn that the best fighter they got, and he's apparently a decent guy. Is what she said. Like, he does a lot for them, but he's just fucking rude.
Well, leave it to a machine to think he's a nice guy.
Well, he's not a machine, is he?
No, she was, right?
She is only.
Oh, okay.
She's only part. She's a Psytech. Means she uses her mind and converses with machines.
Oh, got it. Well,
I have something like that, but not to her abilities. She just says that they had stories, the machines that she talked to, about from back before the rifts came. Like, that's how old these machines are. That they were here before the rifts came. Apparently, the machines know what's going on. So it was an interesting conversation, to say the least. She did seem to get me focused, though, which is refreshing.
She was kind of cute, so I thought you were just getting her number.
What number would that be?
I don't know. However, you contact her later. She looked kind of cute. Talk to you, so I think she thought you were
She
cute.
was just nervous in the general sense. I don't know if anyone's ever talked to her before, but I was genuinely interested in what she had to say. I had to ask her because when we were in, was it Millhaven or in the other town before we left, Dr. Chen, I was wondering if there was a relation there, and she said no relation. But I told her about Dr. Chen. Same last name.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
You said no one has ever spoken to her. I wonder if
that's the thing. I was like, she was very shy, so I don't know if anyone's ever spoken to her before, other than Mr. Rude and the guy in charge.
I don't think Mr. Rude speaks to people. I think he speaks at people.
Yep.
If you or her And if you had that case, you would be nervous as hell too if someone just came out and you could tell that they knew a little bit about you that they probably shouldn't know. I mean, I've known you for a little bit of time, so I'm kind of familiar with you, but whenever we first met, you didn't come out and tell me, like, hey, I do magic stuff. Check this out. Here's this. Whenever we first met, you didn't come out and tell me, like, hey, I do magic stuff. Check this out. Here's this little gizmo I made. Maybe she was just shy.
Well, I feel that we have gotten to know each other over the last couple of weeks, days, months, years. I don't know. Times that we have gotten to know each other over the last couple of weeks, days, months, years. I don't know. Time's funny.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Quantumly speaking. Anyways, it feels like I've known you guys forever. I don't have anything to hide from you guys. I really don't. You didn't kill me when we first met, and I take that as a positive. Even with my
It's
blood.
always a compliment.
As you guys were walking up, Martha Henderson, she introduced herself when she brought her meals over. She walks up and she says, "Well, how are you?"
No, Miss Henderson. Actually, can I just have a cup of coffee maybe to go, if you can spare it? But I just want to say thanks for the hospitality and the hot shower last night.
Of course. We can find you something to go here. Do you folks plan on staying long in Crosshaven?
Well, we won't be staying too long. We've got some things we need to do, but this is a wonderful place to stop, and so appreciate this. Food was great. This was wonderful. Thank you.
Well, she says if you need anything here in town, well, she says if you need anything here in town, you know, my husband, he can fix almost anything. He runs the local mechanic shop over there, So his name's Jonas. He could probably help you out. His name's Jonas. He could probably help you out, and just if you want to take a time, we got a very fine trading post here, and if you need some time, she's basically taken a minute to kind of run down the town. She's basically kind of talking it up a little bit because the town wants you to spend money there. So she says there's a medical clinic and of course an operator, and she mentions that that the operator gets a lot of business now, and he's taken on a couple of what their mechanics can't fix or they don't have time to fix. They're shipping it in there to Mr. Henderson, and he's working on their stuff. He hadn't worked on their main armory stuff, but he's worked on their mechanical vehicles. So, and she also says there's a wide range of fuel, and if you need anything like that, or maybe even some ammunition, this town might be able to help you out. And she goes, "Where are you guys headed?"
I hear hell's this good this time of year. Hell.
Okay.
Hell in Finland.
You've been to Finland? I've never been to
No,
Finland.
I just heard about it.
She kind of goes a little bit white when you say hell.
It's
She
a
looks
town
at you.
across the way over there.
She says, "Those golden shields, they've done a lot for this area, but I tell you, they've got some strange things over in their camp. And got a man that's very, very, very scary over there." And she just kind of gives this little bit of a shiver.
Does this man have a name?
Does he have a hair color?
His hair is white, and I think they call him Voidright. And he gives a lot of here because they're bringing in money, but some of the people over there scare the town. She says, "Oh, listen to me. Here I am talking. I mean, you're guests here. You don't need to hear all that stuff."
Well, we don't mind talking. It's a nice refresher from being always busy and not having time to talk or converse or have any kind of conversation with people that aren't us. So that is totally awesome and amazing. And do you know anyone that sells mining or does mining?
She
dig
said,
holes in the mining or does mining,
she
dig
said,
holes in the
she's
ground.
yes, and she looks over and she says, "Well, the Mr. Corrick over there at the trader's post and general store, he might have some stuff like that. You might want to go check it out."
Thank you.
Stuff like that. You might want to go check it out.
Thank you. I will.
And she looks at you real funny and she says, "What kind of stuff are you needing? What do you know,
Oh,
what
just
what do you?"
baubles, pieces of shiny rock that might help me, power stuff. Power stuff. Maybe science.
Science, she says. Interesting. Interesting. Um, roll a D100 for me.
Like,
Their
okay.
gauge.
Hopefully that's good. Low rolls, right? 9100s.
Oh, that's good. That's good. She kind of gives a twitch and she's like, "I tell you what, since you folks are new in town and everything like that, why don't you and she says she waves over at one of her girls, she says, bring me a paper and a pencil real quick." And she says, "Why don't you just write down the things you need for me here?"
Okay, I can do that. I'm surprised you can read, but
Hmm,
I can read, but
hmm.
I can do that.
And she winks at you real quick and she says, "There's a many things you'll be surprised around in this area." And she smiles real big and
Okay,
she's just got that nice ma type thing. And she says, "You write those thing." And she says, "You write those down and I'll be right back with you here in a minute." She kind of bustles off. She says, "We'll have hot cakes coming up in a minute if you guys want to order some." And she kind of goes up to the front
the
and
door.
then cuts to the back door. So she leaves you with a piece of paper and a pencil. So write me a small list or whatever you're looking for and send it to me in the private chat, just a private message over.
Sure,
Or you can
I can
send it
do.
in the Tolkien game player thread. That's fine.
Yep.
Does anybody else have an interaction?
And what was her name?
Her name. Yeah, she went and worked. She said she's going to get some hot cakes. So for a lovely 2 credits of hot cake, you guys can have some here in a second when she gets back. But um, I was just giving you guys a chance to interact before the next scene here. So
Well, I
if
think
not,
it's
I'll move on. And
I can certainly tell her what we're looking for, the basics, but I don't know if we should tell her everything we'd like to have. Don't know
I'll
her
toss a
that
million
well.
credits on there just for good measure.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said I'll toss a million credits on there for good measure. Throw
Okay,
off our true million credits on there for good measure. Throw
okay.
off our true scent
Put a raincoat on your list.
and a
I'll be
solid
damned
gold
if I don't
unicorn.
have a raincoat for the rest of this effing trip. Should have brought one back when we were in Tolkien. It's twice now we've been caught out in the rain. If it wasn't for this truck, brought one back when we were in Tolkien. It's twice now we've been caught out in the rain. If it wasn't for this truck, we'd have been soaking wet. I have all this equipment. Last thing I need to do is get all this stuff wet. It's valuable things
So
here.
uh, if you guys want anything, just feel free to put it in the Tolkien player thread. And Martha, I will see what want anything. Just feel free to put it in the Tolkien player thread. And Martha, I will see what Martha can do. But while you guys are going, Albert Ross walks through the front door and he walks in and he says, "Well, hello. Can I join you?"
Absolutely. She's bringing hotcakes in a minute. Sit down. Please, she's bringing hotcakes in a minute. Sit down.
All right. And he slaps his hands together and kind of gives it the little rub and he sits down and he's like, "Are you guys having a good night? Did everybody rest well?"
Yes, sir.
Yep. Got baths and everything.
Well, he smiles and he says, "Well, I don't know about you guys." And he leans in.
Everything.
Well, he smiles and he says, "Well, I don't know about you guys." And he leans in real quick and he waves at the bar girl first and says, "Bring me a cup of hot something. I don't need any food. I've already ate this morning. I had breakfast, and he said, and he smiles, that big trader smile he's got, and he says, I had breakfast with the commander of the Golden Shield, and he smiles real big, like
Oh,
he, he's looking at you, and he's kind of giving you that grin. He says, it wasn't like that. Desiree, but he says it wasn't like that. I was invited to breakfast this morning, but he says I can tell you a little bit about that company if you want. And he smiles real big again.
well, spill the beans. What did you learn?
He says, since we're traveling together, information usually runs a motto is shield the innocent and strike the wicked. And apparently, Commander Vex, her first name's Sarah, by the way, she is a former coalition military specialist. That's what I gathered from breakfast. And she decided to create this mercenary pump company with her uh, Sergeant Major Knox, and or Croc. I'm sorry, I'll get you a spelling here in a minute, guys. And they just decided that they wanted to get away from the coalitions, and they just decided that they wanted to get away from the coalition, and they were tired of the atrocities. She realized, and he says it was kind of a good session. Said kind of realized that they need. She realized that she needed that the coalition should be allied. She realized that she needed that the coalition should be allied with more magic users to help stem the flow of bad things. She says there's good and bad in everything, but her executive officer, we've not met him yet, but his name is Medical Division of the Golden Shield. So he basically runs this and uh, that entire section of her army. And he says they're here to keep order in the area and try to establish a more stable trading route. They've been hired by an unknown source from this city all the way to Tolkien, if necessary. And he says, I find that all fascinating, don't you?
Absolutely. Sounds like they're good friends to have. Definitely not somebody you want as an enemy. And they probably, because they're maintaining the trade route, as we need.
Well, he says,
Good.
Albert says that they trade with everybody that they can, but their principal contract is an office south of Tolkien is where they get most of their orders. But again, they don't know most of their orders. But again, they don't know where it is. He says the Golden Shield. Here's their company slogan. The Golden Shield stands ready to defend those who cannot defend themselves, as he's pompously sticking out his chest, while striking down the monsters that would prey upon the innocent. We are mercenaries, but we are not without honor. And he kind of says that in a little bit of a pompous air, like, he's listened to it all morning type stuff. And I went ahead and posted that in the game thread all morning type stuff. And I went ahead and posted that in the game thread so you guys have it if anybody wants to copy it.
Sounds like they're recruiting you. Sounds like you've got their thing down pat.
Sounds
He
like you're
goes,
trying to recruit us.
Right.
well,
Sounds
he
like you're
goes,
trying to recruit us.
Right.
well, I don't know about recruiting all of us, but we sure have seen some stuff together here in the last 12 or 13 days we've been together. From a town exploding to a coalition battle to pulling bodies out to meeting cyber knights. He says, you folks are interesting, as he smiles real big.
Is Crosshaven a decent sized town?
It's the size of 400. There's probably a good 400. There's probably a good 20 buildings. Crosshaven, if you look at that prior picture I put in there, it actually is farmland primarily around. You would know from chittering with Albert and now some and with Albert and now some and Martha that the town trades a lot with Independence. They grow extra food and beef and some more exotic meats, and they send that down to Independence. Independence isn't self-sufficient completely, but they make a lot of stuff themselves there. But there's actually factories in Independence that produce machine parts and things like that there. So they do a lot of trading with Independence. They just make sure to send only human representatives to Chillicothe when they're trading. So with that being said, I'll give you a chance if you guys want to ask Albert anything. Go ahead and get it out of the way if you want to role play anything with Albert. But I've basically just kind of filled in.
So, Albert,
He
did you
says,
enjoy the pillow
"So,
talk?
I'm a gentleman," and
Women need
they
Women have needs.
well,
I read
I
that in
think
a
her
book. I
needs.
read that in a book. I just like I'm letting you know. Women have needs. I'm letting you know. Read it in a
He
book.
smiles real big and he says, "I honestly had a good old drinking with the juicer, the master or the sergeant major, and also I got to meet a glitter boy pilot. I think they called him Longshot, um, but I think they said his name was the lady that we met the other night.
You're gonna have to talk to him.
They seemed pretty that, but I didn't meet any of this the magical guard, you know. He smiles and he says, "I always like to learn about this techno wizardry stuff. It's so cool." And he says, "Maybe one of these days I'll get to pick your brain if we can actually sit down and do that. What do you say?"
I'm game if you are.
He says, "We'll have to do it before we get to Tolkien. How's that sound?" Or not Tolkien, Independence.
Maybe. I'm working on getting this thing I'm working on done on the way. So hopefully I can get that finished before we get there.
Well, maybe I can help you. He smiles real big.
Okay.
So, did you get your list compiled?
Not yet. No.
Okay. Um,
I figured I can handle that downtime and then get that to you over the time that we're off and you're slept well and you're doing your thing next weekend.
okay. If
Unless
you
you
have
wanted
a
me to
few items,
rush.
if you have a few items, if you guys have a few items, just go ahead and put them in the thread because it may be worth it for you guys to do that real quick. So while you guys are doing that, you're sitting there talking. Albert Ross is like, "All right, I'm going to take a risk here," and he waves his hand and he says, "I'm going to take a risk here." And he waves his hand and he says, "Bring the hotcakes and they're on me to all of you." And he looks at each of you and he says, "I gotta know." And he scoots in real close and he kind of, how people lean across the table and they're wanting to be a little bit more quiet. And he says, across the table and they're wanting to be a little bit more quiet. And he says, "I've never seen a rig like your guys's before. I've seen the style and the type, but the readings I get off that thing through my scanner on mine is strange. And I don't mean to pry in your business, but is that a techno wizard device?" As he leans in closer, he says, "You don't have to tell me, but dang, I just like I said, I'm into this kind of stuff, and me not being magical and everything like that. I was just kind of curious. Thought I'd ask you guys." In his tone.
I lean over to Newton. Do you know what he's talking about?
I don't.
He's
I was just under the impression that our vehicle was old. I was trying to tally up the numbers in my head, and from what I can come up with, I'm going like maybe 350 years.
Maybe
That
he's
seemed a
talking
little
about the
bit
thing in the
strange.
back. The thing that we recovered and that's stuffed in the back.
no,
I don't know.
he was asking about your vehicle,
What
your
vehicle?
guys' the one you guys are driving.
I thought we had a Ford POS.
No, you guys are driving a Mountaineer that's been tricked out with those 4 or 5 Techno Wizard devices inside. So I just wanted to make sure you remembered what you were driving. But if you're playing it like you're not going to tell him, that's fine.
No, I didn't write down what we had. I didn't write down what we had, and I don't remember what we had. Or do I? I don't
Well, it was
remember.
good enough that there was many miles there where Newton was reading the manual.
Mm,
So
me.
it's pretty true where Newton was reading the manual.
mm.
So
me.
it's pretty tricked out.
It is. Let's see. I need to download this from my memory. Give me a second here. The dishes on the front have been modified. There's a forward radar. Maybe, I think. We can detect ley lines. And I think there might be one more thing, but I could totally be making that up.
I am going to post it in your guys' chat just for you.
Question
Is anti-magic restraints, emergency beacon for extraction, ley line detectors, and then the thing on the front. Dimensional stabilizers.
it's pretty spiffy.
So if you guys want to go out of character and discuss what you want, this character has basically kind of deflected a little bit, and then Gage's character didn't remember. But if you guys decide you want to move forward, go ahead. Just start role playing it with him.
But Mr. Ross, kind of sorry, Albert. A lot of those things. Kind of sorry, Albert. A lot of those things. Do they even work? We haven't used them, that's for sure.
Well, he kind of looks around. He's like a little bit confused, and he's got a little bit of a grin on his face. And he says, "Guys, a little bit of a grin on his face." And he says, "Guys, my scanner reads all sorts of funky stuff coming off your guys' vehicle." And that was before we picked up the 150-pound fusion warhead that's in the back of mine. As he smiles, real big.
Curious, what are you reading?
Back of mine. As he smiles, real big.
Curious, what are you reading off of it? Is it like giving off vibes? What are you talking about?
And he smiles and he says, "Okay, I see trust is necessary." And he leans in again. He puts his hands on the table, and the girl's bringing over those pasties in again. He puts his hands on the table, and the girl's bringing over the those pastries. And he stops real quick and he smiles real big, and he says, he flips her a little bit of a coin type thing, and she smiles real big and runs off. And he sits down and he says, "Okay, so here's the off." And he he sits down and he says, "Okay, so here's the trust." He says, "You guys have got some weird stuff on that thing." And like I said, I'm into knowing this kind of stuff. So I have some detectors and devices and stuff, potentially dangerous things that could pop out of the rifts. But I'd say that you guys are set up for some kind of maybe some detectors and some maybe maybe some kind of maybe my fascination. And he's staring right at you, Newton. He's looking at you, and he's like, if I could have been a scientist. And he says, and he looks over at Genevieve, and he says, if I could have been a scientist and been out into the wilderness and been able to stuff like that, you guys came from you know, talking with you guys and everything like that. You're from around Tolkien, and that's a very magical area. And where I came from, and then moved to, we only went through a magic areas a couple times, and it just a couple times, and it just fascinates me, you know. So I was just curious if you guys don't want to answer me, fine. And he puts his hand on his chest, and he kind of leans back. He says, "That's fine. I don't want to be in your stuff, but and he looks right at you again, Newton, and he says, "You're just in your stuff," but and he looks right at you again, Newton, and he says, "You're just, a man of curiosity like myself, and a man of curiosity like you and Gage are, and all you guys seem like that. I just thought I'd ask, but it's not going to affect our friendship or anything, and our dealing. I just wanted to know, and you know, I, like I said, I'm into this kind of stuff. I can't work any of it, but I'm just into it." And he smiles big and everything like that.
That's a little bit above my pay grade. And as far as the magic stuff goes, Albert, the only thing I know about magic.
Big, and he goes, "Aaron Tarn at the best right there," and he smiles real big and he touches the end of his nose.
Never had the privilege of reading any of her books. But if you get your hands on one, you know where you can find a good trade, I think.
And he says, "I tell you what, we've been together."
Tip my head forward and, like a little nod in agreement kind of thing.
Well, I'm just gonna ask the guys out of character here really quick. Does it matter if he knows that we didn't build this rig? Should we tell him that we don't should we tell him that we don't even know what this thing does? Maybe he knows something we don't know.
Can we tell him we won it from a poker game?
We could.
Does anyone play
We
cards?
definitely could.
No, I don't.
Definitely could.
No, I don't. I don't.
I'm just
I don't
curious
either.
what he knows. Like he seems to kind of maybe know something.
So
I wonder if
saying-
we could get information from him if we let him know that we've read the manual. It's about as far as we've got. We could get information from him if we let him know that we've read the manual. It's about as far as we've gotten. We don't even know what all this thing does. We don't have to tell him, everything about our job. But I don't know. I want to know what he knows. You got to give something up to do that. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone who votes Des in charge of speaking with Albert, say aye. Aye.
Well, that was and resume. So, Albert, truth is,
Oh, that was in character. Totally. That's him.
So Albert's looking at you guys, and he's got his hand on his chest, and he's backed up, and he takes a little bite of his crumb, and he says, "Guys, do you?" He says, "I understand." He says, "But it's just something that I've got a curiosity about. I can't work it. I'm a trader, and I'd like to buy and sell more stuff that has that, and independence is independence is an interesting place for, I haven't been there in probably 4 or 5 months, and they were there was a group of techno mages that went in there, and they've got some neat stuff, and they're always wanting to trade, and they've got some neat stuff, and they're always wanting to trade, and I don't know much about it. That's why I was looking at you, Gage, and you're obviously one of those, and I'm trying to learn," he says, and he earnestly he earnestly just looks like he's just trying to learn, and he smiles, and he's like, "Got to be a better trader. You got to know your product."
Okay, fair enough. I will converse with you. What is a techno mage? Because I am a techno wizard. Because I am a techno wizard. Wizards and mages are different things. So, are you confusing the both of us? Do we dress similarly? Because I look really good in this custom flight jacket. I don't know whatever you said. In this custom flight jacket. I don't know whatever you said. The techno mage wears. I was like, oh, crazy. Wizards go to school.
Hey.
We know what we're doing. That's just me.
He looks at you and he says, "See, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Your
If I'm
your
saying it wrong, I don't mean to offend," he says.
Oh, no. I'm just trying to understand what you mean. So in your vocabulary, techno mage and techno wizard are the same thing.
Yes, he says, "I would say so."
Wonderful. That I haven't encountered yet, and if I do, I will investigate that thoroughly. However, as far as I know, it is only a techno wizard because we go to school and we learn from
Nice
books.
jackets.
So
And they're wearing jackets.
while you guys are conversing, he kind of sits up and he looks up, and Martha walks over and he got you. Oh, well,
And then I'll write it down for you.
okay. Well, during this entire time, the group, I'm just going to kind of throw this out here, unless somebody said has kind of wrote down things they wanted on this list too. So she's like, "You want me to take those and see if I can't?" So she's like, "You want me to take those and see if I can't send a runner after any of that, or do you just want me to wait for you?" And she smiles real big at you as she looks at you, Gage.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you can help them get their things, and then I'll give you a list for afterwards. I have to focus and try to write this down. And right now, there's a lot going on in my mind.
She says, "Just fine." She says, "Just fine. I'll tell you what." And she rips the paper in half. She takes the top half of the stuff that's been written on there and she leaves the other half. And she says, "You just put everything you need on there, and you just let my old Ma Henderson figure that one out, okay?" And she also looks at you and says, "That may be a woman after my own heart if she can get all that stuff." And he smiles. Anyway, he leans back in. He says, "So tell me what you think."
Tell me what you think of what.
Well, he was kind of looking at Newton when he says that.
Can do is show you the owner's manual for the vehicle that we came in. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more than I know, because
He
forgive me
looks
for
at
saying
you.
this, Mr. Ross, and I'm going to lower my voice real quietly and say, for somebody who doesn't know a lot, you seem to know an awful lot.
He says he leans in and he says, "I have to know a lot, otherwise I get taken advantage of. Being a trader is hard work." And he says, "If you get taken advantage of, being a trader is hard work." And he says, "If you got a manual to that thing, I would be happy to look at it."
That can be arranged once we get back to the vehicles, I think.
He's
I don't know about you, but I don't carry my truck manual on me.
Oh, he says he leans back and he chortles a little bit and he says, "Of course, of course, of course." Well, he reaches down and he says, "Let me get something." And he pulls a little thing out of a pouch. And he pull little thing out of a pouch. And he sits it on the table and he says, "Does anybody know what this is?" And what it looks like is a small thimble, like, a sewing thimble, but it's got something where it looks like it wraps around a finger. It's like a s- kind of like a small
Like a
rubber
banjo
wrap.
pick kind of thing or whatever.
Well, kind of, but it wraps up. It would wrap up the whole finger. And he says, "I bought this off of a techno wizard. Was kind of desperate for some money, and he swore to me that it was at least worth 700 credits. So I gave him 50 credits for it because I don't know anything about it." And he slides it into the center of the table and he says that this is true.
Is what true?
This device, is that what it does? I don't know how to make it.
I'm sorry, I was focused on my list. What'd you say?
Okay, so there was a thimble It looks like kind of a thimble for sewing, and it's got this like wrap that comes out that would wrap up the finger. And he bought it for 50 because he doesn't know how to tell that. And he just says the guy may have stiffed him or not, but he said it's supposed to point directions to ley lines. And he looks at you going, I don't know if it's true or not. I just took a risk. And he kind of slid it to the center of the table and he's looking at you.
Would have to take a closer look.
Please,
Can
by all means,
I
he says.
pick up the device.
And while you examine it, I'll give you the specifics through that. He looks over and he looks over at Jenny and he says, Jenny, you might want to check out. And he says, Jenny, you might want to check out the trading post. They might have some things for you here in town, survival things. I know you're into it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I always like looking at that sort of stuff.
Okay. Maybe I'll go with you and make sure they don't, okay. Maybe I'll go with you and make sure they don't, take advantage of you.
All right.
Okay. So, let me just tell you, it does, if you, do you have like an identify magic or is your ability you can pick up a techno wizard device and kind of know what it's about?
I don't know if that's part of the thing. I got a skill called Techno Wizard Construction or Techno Wizardry Construction.
Why don't you roll that?
You would be able to detect if it's magic, though, wouldn't you?
Why don't you roll that?
You would be able to detect if it's magic, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but
should be
anything
able
can be anything can be magic. Yeah, that's a success.
Okay. So you do know it is magical,
Mhm.
and the spell enchantments as you look on it, is for ley line detection. It is not charged. So you don't know how many PPE it will take to charge it, but it does have it, and it looks like it's got like a pretty small, maybe little blue sapphire at the very tip of the thimble looking thing. So you know that it can't be probably over 2 or 3 charges, probably would only hold maybe at the maximum 8 PPE is your educated guess without charging.
Let's see here. Yeah,
Well, Albert, if Gage tells you, determines that it's not magical, because if it is, I'm sure he's probably going to try to get it off your hands. But if it's not, I'll give you your 50 credits back for it just because I think it's kind of cool looking, and I like to collect oddities.
Well, Albert, you got yourself a steal for that. Just if you broke it down into pieces, you would make your money back 100-fold at least. Pieces, you would make your money back 100-fold at least. But I am looking here and seeing if that does detect ley lines or not. Looking at the runes and seeing if it does what it's supposed to, and seeing if it does what it's supposed to.
While you guys are talking and you're going over that, somebody else walks into breakfast area and he's looking around. It's on you guys at your table, and he says, "Are you the folks that brought in the fusion core or the fusion battery?"
Anima,
hmm
yes.
He says, "Commander Vex says that she would like to speak with you guys," and he just
Meet Commander too, so I think that works.
well, he crosses his arms, and you can tell that both of his hands are bionic. You notice this right off. He's got the uh, urban warrior armor on, but his gloves are off. But his hands are closer inspection. He's got a helmet on, but he may have some cybernetics around his head as well. And you do notice that, Desiree, right off, because one warrior to another, you tend to look at that kind of stuff.
Hey, looks like we match.
He looks at you and he nods his head curtly and he says, "The commander and she called for you guys to come. I would hope that you would want to come quickly because I've been instructed to
Absolutely.
stay until you come." Very good, he says.
I'll catch up with you guys. I'll square up the tab with Miss Henderson, and I'll meet you guys over there.
Okay. Albert waves his hand and he says, "Do you need to meet with me? I was just there." And he looks at it and says, "Yes, because you're driving the device." So he says, he looks over at Newton and he says, you can wait a few minutes. We can get started with those, but I trust that you'll be there shortly. Am I right? And he kind of gives you that sideways glance of looking at you and the very stern stare type attitude.
I'll kind of. Do you think I'm going to run away?
Not if we break your leg.
Dizzy. Yeah.
Not after that load of hotcakes. Nobody's running.
Dizzy. Yeah.
Not after that load of hotcakes. Nobody's running anywhere. We're all pretty full.
Let's see if I can get some of those to go.
Mhm.
Yes, I will meet you over there. Have no fear, mercenary of mine.
He looks at you and he says,
Fear, mercenary of mine.
he looks at you and he says, "My name's Buzz." And he turns around and he says, "Well, this way." So as you guys are walking out, I'm going to let you guys all walk out together, except for I'm going to let you go up and have a exchange real quick with Mrs. Henderson, okay? And then we'll switch it back over to the other guys. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't want to,
Okay.
out of character, I didn't want to let this guy know that we were giving this lady a list and we were waiting on.
Got that completely. So let me review. So Martha walks up and she smiles real big and says, "Did everybody leave?"
Yep. Apparently that Miss Vex lady wants to chat with us. So, hate to eat and run, but can I get some of those sweets to go?
And she says, "Why, of course, of course." And she says, "How many do you want?"
Oh, baker's dozen is always a good number.
Okay, a dozen. Since you buy so many, they were 2 credits a piece before, so she'll before, so she'll cover you a discount and say 18 credits.
Okay, sounds good.
And she also says, "Well, do you want your things?"
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have. I required your things, and
What do I owe you for those?
well, your part of it will be 35. Well, your part of it will be 35 credits. And she gets out a raincoat, and it's not the best raincoat, but and then she gets basically some double A batteries. Not the best quality, but decent. And pencils and papers. She has 2 pencils and a small pad of paper, and she says that's 35 credits. Some of these things can be hard to come by, but I have everybody's things that are on their list that had it ready. She also says, "I noticed that there was you'd wanted a second-hand universal translator. Do you still want it?"
And I can only speak Spanish. And if other people are speaking things that are not Spanish, I'd like to at least be able to, if not read and write, speak and understand.
Well, she says, she looks at you and she says, "I've got you one, dearie. I'll sell it to you for 1,000 credits."
I can do maybe like 800 credits and 200 in tradable, if that sounds okay to you. Credits are hard to come by sometimes whenever you're out on the road and don't really have a source of income. And, I'm buying these sweet, tasty buns off you. That's the least you can do for me.
She says, "Absolutely, I'll do that just fine."
That sounds
And
like great. That's a good deal, ma'am.
she says, "Just for you. Don't forget to say goodbye before you guys leave. And send that the other people that ordered things back. I've send that the other people that ordered things back. I've got that other lady's stuff."
I will. Where should I have them meet you? Anywhere in particular?
Well, if you're staying another night, come on back. If not, just come on back before you leave.
Okay, sounds good.
If not, just come on back before you leave.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for the delicious meal, the hot shower, the comfortable bed, the items on the list, and I'll pay and head over to join everybody else.
Okay. So just go ahead and mark all those items, the amount on it. And she looks at you on the way out and she says, if you guys are looking for little extra work or maybe you need some more equipment, you just come on back and talk to me, okay? And she gives you the wink and hands you your pastries and said, "There you go." And she smiles real big.
Out and shake her hand and give her a firm handshake to let her know I'm picking up what she's laying down.
Okay. All right. So we're going to switch over to the other guys. As you guys are walking, Buzz is leading the way, and he looks over at Desiree and he says, "So do you hire yourself a job? Because we could. I know that Commander Vex is always looking for somebody that can squeeze a trigger and shoot down range."
I don't know. How is she to work for?
And he looks over at you and he says, "I would march to hell with that woman."
Well,
And he says, "I would march to hell with that woman."
well, that's saying a lot right there. I'm busy right this minute, but I'm always open, looking. When this little adventure's over, I might look you back up.
Well, just know that she recruits the best.
Little adventure's over, I might look you back up.
Well, just know that she recruits the best and provides the best.
That's good to know.
And he nods curtly and he kind of turns back. Unless you want to keep talking, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. That's fine. He's not going to talk much. He's not.
Talking, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. That's fine. He's not going to talk much. He's not very talkative. So,
No, he's a machine. He's not a machine. He's a soldier. So, um, as you get back over, unless you guys want to do any more so, um, as you get back over, unless you guys want to do any more interactions, I'm just going to put you guys in the tent with ready, waiting for Commander Gage. Roll me a detect magic or perception roll that involves magic. Let's do perception that involves magic. Make it fairly easy. So let me know if you get a 6 or higher.
Yeah, I got a 14.
Got a 14. Okay. You feel a strong sense of magic when you start to, as you get close to Tolkien since you've left. And it just not, it's a weird type magic, but it's not a weird. And what I would say that is it's not a completely natural magic. It's almost supernatural in a way, if you get my drift.
Mm-hmm.
So as you walk down, just kind of like pleaded a little bit with that. He's sitting there at a table. He's also sitting with the sergeant major, and they're sitting there conversating when you walk in. The magic emanating off of him pretty strong. You can feel it. His a capital D instead of a. Okay, there it went. There.
Nice
Uh,
roll.
Okay, so Genevieve, you didn't catch that. Okay, so Desiree, you need to re-roll. It's a 1d20 on that roll.
oops. Sorry.
Sorry, I should have said that out loud on that roll.
Oops. Sorry.
Sorry, I should have said that out loud.
There you go.
Oh, you don't notice it either, but so Newton and definitely you, Gage, you notice that there's a wrist bracelet on his hand that's on the table. There's a wrist bracelet on his hand that's on the table, and it is glowing a red and a green. It is inlaid heavily with you can just see it right off there. It's heavily inlaid with rubies and sapphires and emeralds, and it is glowing a sickish, purplish, reddish color. Anybody have magic lore or demon lore or anything like that?
Uh,
To monster lore or demon lore or anything like that?
uh,
To monster lore.
let me see. I have something. Yeah, demons and monsters. Yeah.
Okay, you could roll that. What about you, Gage? Do you have anything like that?
Lore.
Anything like that?
Lore. No.
I have fairies and creatures of
What?
magic.
Why do I not have lore?
You could roll that. Okay. So
Doesn't make a lot
that
of
probably
sense. to me.
failed, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
Okay. So you notice after, you kind of stop Desiree and you see that the guys kind of stop and look at this. They're looking at the device on this guy's arm. Um, Newton, do you have any arm? Um, Newton, do you have anything that would help you recognize this?
I do not.
Okay. So basically, Desiree, because you have an affinity because you hate demons, you hate monsters like that. I mean, you are a monsters like that. I mean, you are a monster slayer for that most of it. You know that that's what they call a shackle, and the shackle is used to bind magic creatures, demons, spirits, anything like that. To
To them?
yes, he's controlling.
Ooh, creepy.
He, yeah, he's got something in his control.
Super creepy. Okay. Interesting.
I'm just letting you know so you can tell them later if it comes up, okay?
Okay.
Because you've seen this.
The CS uses, right?
No, this is
Okay.
out of game. I'll just let you guys know that this is a shifter's control device.
Never played a shifter, so
So,
So meaning he
but anyway,
controls a shifter?
no, the shifter is a supernatural creature against its will.
Okay.
So anyway,
is it common for shifters to have these?
no,
Like-
only
Okay,
you would,
only high level ones.
yeah, only a high level shifter, probably over level 6, easy.
Fair enough.
Accordingly, I'm just letting you know. But basically, they stop and they look at you, and the sergeant major or the sergeant major looks at you guys and says, "Please sit. Commander Vex will be here." And he says, "This is Malachar Voidright." And Miss
What does he guard?
the Arcane Guard. Are you asking that out in character?
No, I'm asking you. What does that mean?
Okay.
What's he at the Arcane Guard? What do they guard?
Okay. Well, that's the name of the Magic Division. But you don't
Oh.
know that yet.
Oh,
You said his name was Malachar
Malachar Voidright.
Voidright,
And
and this is the guy that's wearing the shifter thing.
yeah, this is the guy that's in the robes, the purple robes, and everything. This is the guy that's in the robes, the purple robes, and everything. And he nods his head and he says, "Greetings."
And you called it a shifter controller.
Yeah, it's a binder, a device binder.
interesting.
Trying to get a binder.
Interesting.
Trying to get a. I had a picture of him, but seems that it's decided not to play nice with me anymore. Oh well, we'll move on. Anyway, Sergeant Major looks at you guys and he says, "Did you sleep well?"
Yes.
We did. Yes.
For you, it's nothing routine. We've your story has been confirmed by Moon Hunter, and everything seems to be in order. We've dispatched another squad that way to helping in any recovery or anything like that. Has just a couple more questions, and kind of wants to know where you're headed from here. So just be patient. If you'd like something to drink, and he points over because you guys are kind of in the tent. He says, if you'd like something to drink, please grab you something over there, and Commander Vex will be here for a second. And they're sitting at. He says, please sit down. So he's standing there with his arm out. Are you guys going to move over to the table, drinks, or
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'll grab a drink.
Yep.
Don't know how long we're going to be sitting here, and hydration is key.
Okay. So I'm going to take it that you guys.
Is key.
Okay. So I'm going to take it that you guys are all moving over the table. Does anybody want to have anything going on?
Head to the table.
Okay. So you sit down, and Albert sits over there, and he can't hardly take his eyes off that shifter. So he's just kind of staring at him. And a couple minutes later, Commander Vex walks in, and Sergeant Major stands up and salutes, and the shifter stands up but doesn't salute, gives a small nod, and says, "Commander." And she says, "All right, everybody sit down. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know everybody's got to do stuff, and you guys have a need to get to Independence and everything, and I don't want to hold you in the coolant." She says, "I first want to thank you. I want to hold you in the coolant." She says, "I first want to thank you for." She looks at you guys. "I want to thank you guys for returning with information and everything. Sorry, it seemed a little bit stressful, but when a small company like mine, small outfit, when we lose small company like mine, small outfit, when we lose 16 people, it can be traumatic, especially people that I've fought and bled with for a long time. So I hope that you guys won't take our pain and our grief. Um, so with that being said, I hope you take my apologies. But I do have a couple more questions for you."
First
Okay.
question.
So she looks at you and she says, "The first question is what are you going to do with the fusion battery? Because taking it to Independence can be, or not
No,
talking."
I don't really think I don't think there's anybody expecting us. I can only speak for myself here, but we were just trying to do a town a solid. And being the good, kind folks that we are, we kind of got hogtied with this damn thing. Get killed, and we're trying to get rid of this and fix it and not have anybody else killed. And, that's what we're trying to do. Probably use some help.
Says, "That's worrying me that nobody knows that you're coming with possible fusion device. Fusion device. So," and she kind of clears her throat, and Albert says, "Well, we sent somebody ahead." And he kind of looks around at you guys, kind of confused. He says, "Mr. Jameson flew to Independence. At least 10 days ago, he said he was going to prep. At least 10 days ago, he said he was going to prep somebody." And he kind of looks at you guys like he's maybe missing something. So
Yeah, the
out of
whole town doesn't know, but we definitely sent somebody ahead. Yes.
okay, so
Definitely sent somebody ahead. Yes.
so she looks at you, Desiree, and she says, "So somebody does know you're coming with a potentially dangerous item."
Yes. Somebody knows, but maybe not the whole town.
Okay, as long
Knows, but maybe not the whole town.
okay, as long uh she looks at you and she says, "My recommendation is if you've made arrangements, that's great." She says, "Here's what I'm going to suggest." And she says, "Again, it's a suggestion, but suggest." And she says, "Again, it's a suggestion, but I would try to meet up with." And she kind of looks a little confused. Let me look up the name here. She said, "You want to reach out if you need a mechanic there and I want to let him know he sits on the council of the ruling council there in Independence. His name is Tobias McKinnon. He is a very, very good mechanic. If I'm away from an area or if I'm close to Independence, our operator can't figure it out. Tobias is the one that works on it. He also works on magical devices for us as well. He's
Oh,
very,
good to know.
very smart. He's also, well, she says you don't meet a lot of people as nice, and but tell Mr. McKinnon that I sent you to look at that device if uh, if your contact falls through.
Appreciate
And
that. Thank you.
she says, other than that, I have a package that needs to go to Mr. McKinnon. Whether you end up making a deal with somebody else or if somebody else takes care of that. And I would be happy if guys would take it, or if you people would take it for me. I will give you 400 credits for its delivery. Give you 400 credits for its delivery.
We're going that way anyway.
Okay.
It doesn't blow up like this one does it?
She smiles real big and says, "No, it is." And she pulls it out. For better or worse, it looks like it's about the size of a briefcase. It's just a wooden nailed box the size of a briefcase. It's just a wooden nailed box. And she says, it's nothing that's going to blow up. It's nothing like that. It's actually some computer equipment that has been broken that my operator can't fix.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So
You guys, so
she says, thank you again for what you've done. And I will bid you farewell and safe travels. And remember, it's not.
Before we go on, can you open the case so we can see? We deliver it. We can verify that that's exactly what is in the case.
She looks at you in a way that you might feel that she just carved your liver out of your body. And she says, Sergeant Major, go get a crowbar and a hammer and open this.
We're just
Says,
verifying the goods, so then we know that that's all that we are delivering. Nothing extra, nothing special. Verifying, making sure nothing goes boom.
and she says, I guess my word isn't good enough.
It's not that we
And
don't trust you. It's just
And she
trust is a
sniffs a little. She sniffs a little bit. Sergeant Major, make sure this is closed up. And she spins on her heels and walks out the door without another word.
Gage, we're gonna have on your communication with the ladies. My goodness.
He didn't get that far in his book yet.
Up.
But you
what
guys,
book?
out of characters here and everything, you did see what I rolled in the chat, right?
I didn't look. I'll look now.
Okay.
Oh,
I
you rolled a one.
yeah, I rolled a 1. So the lady that has the power of a shifter at her command and and 3 glitter boys and an entire armored division, Gage just insulted her honor. It was kind of epic. I love it. So anyway, back into the game. Sergeant Major back into the game. Sergeant Major comes back and he's almost got a smirk on his face, and he opens it up, and it if if he could, he would probably laugh, but he's not going to. And he opens it up, and it looks like it's a circuit board, and you can tell looks like it's a circuit board, and you can tell that it's probably taken some damage and overload. And Newton, you and Gage would understand that this is probably a fried circuit board that has been overloaded. There's instructions and
Verifying
instructions
this
on
is a modern.
and
Verifying
instructions
this
on
is a modern circuit board, not a pre-riffs circuit board.
do you have a skill to verify that?
Probably. I got electric engineering, mechanical engineering.
Roll an electric engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
Roll an electric engineering.
All right. Let's see if I can get on this.
Oh, that's a
Ooh.
good roll. That's a good
Nice
roll.
roll. Nice roll.
It is a pre-war. It is a pre-riffs circuit board. It's very advanced.
I play it off like I don't know anything, which isn't really hard for me to do.
Perfect. And he says, "Are you all satisfied?" As he smirks
100%.
again.
It's like I bought it last week.
All
Woohoo!
right. So he puts it down and he nails it back shut and he says, "Make sure it gets there."
Yes, sir.
All right. And he says, "If you want anything to drink or anything like that, go ahead and get out or grab it, and we wish you well. And you can pull your vehicles out of the canteens. He's basically offered you guys can fill up your canteens out of their water pack, and basically they're just going to refill your hydro rations for you
Cool.
as a courtesy."
Nice.
And the corporal runs up and he says, "We checked your tires and topped your fuel tank. Martha had things ready for you."
Oh, yes, absolutely. We would have to stop there so they could pick up their things. I don't know
Speaking
if
of
she was
things, guys,
tired.
did you see that thing on that guy's wrist in there?
I couldn't keep my eyes off of it.
Yeah, it was shiny, huh? That's he's got some control over something. Just thought I'd point that out because couldn't tell you in there. I didn't want him to know I knew.
Right? Well, thanks for sharing yours. Button my lips and throw away the key symbol made.
So how did she get a hold of that stuff so fast? Did you ask her where?
I'm kind of trying to put one and one and come up with two. And I think this is, I think this might be like a major black market trading hub.
Mm,
That's just the impression that I'm getting. Like she willingly took, like she willingly took, I mean, I think I kind of lowballed her on this, some of the equipment that she got me personally, but she took my offer without a second thought. So
okay.
took my offer without a second thought. So
Okay. And she said she's got stuff for the rest of us. All of
yes.
our stuff too. Wow. Okay.
Well, she didn't
Wow,
say
let's-
she didn't say all of it. She just said that she had your stuff.
Okay. Well, let's go see what she got.
She didn't say all of it. She just said that she had your stuff.
Okay. Well, let's go see what she got.
So everything that was in the chat that you got before you guys went, as you go back over, Genevieve, you go in and she smiles and says, "Well, hello, dearie. How are you?"
I was just saying, all right. How about you?
You broke up. You want to do that again?
Yeah, I said, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
She she says, "Wonderful. I have these things that you were wanting. You take a look at them.
Yeah.
Is that for Fairy or Faye?"
Yeah, like their general tongue. Because I can speak it pretty well, but I want to make sure I'm not too rusty here doing these jobs.
Well,
Okay.
the universal translator comes with standard languages. You can buy extra discs if you need to. For other
Right,
languages.
but she doesn't know that Newton bought a universal language translator yet.
Ah, gotcha. No, I thought she was asking for a universal. Never mind.
Yeah, she just wants a paperback or a single disc that she could read back or a single disc that she could read.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm pretty old fashioned here.
So she has a set of night vision goggles that will clip on the front of your helmet so that you can put them up or down. She had kind of looked at your stuff and apparently got it. She had kind of looked at your stuff and apparently got it. And then she has a motion detector that is external. It probably only does a couple hundred feet at the most. but it would help in a situation when you're walking through a forest or something. When you're walking through a forest or something like that, it would give emotion back. She does have a paperback. Looks like it was a copy of a handwritten thing, and she has the small first aid kit. And she
Alright.
said that,
How many credits would that be?
and she
Alright.
said that
How many credits would that be?
3,900 credits.
Alright, how much specifically for the goggles?
Which goggles? The night vision or
The
the
night vision.
those are 2,000 credits by themselves.
Gotcha. So wait, so the rest of it would be like 1,000.
Themselves.
Gotcha. So the rest of it would be like 1,000 something?
Yeah, 1,800.
1,800? Let me look.
She smiles at you, and she smiles at you and says, "I can see that you're need me to get anything for him."
Gage rushes over, hands her his piece of paper that he has written down his list on.
Okay, and he looks at it. She looks at it, and she kind of goes, "This might take a few minutes if I have all this. If I don't have some of these things, would would that work for you, sir?" And she smiles real big at you, Gage.
I'm not understanding what you mean.
She's basically saying, if she doesn't have something, do you still want her to bring what she does have?
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Suitable substitute. Bring that as well, because that's a possibility.
Okay. She says it'll take me a little bit. Does anybody else have anything?
I might want a couple items.
Okay. Well, why don't you guys sit down and have some lunch or something, and I'll take
Heck, lunch sounds good. What did you make for lunch?
rhino buffalo stew.
That sounds interesting.
My
Sounds
favorite.
meaty. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, while I wait for Desiree to throw her list in here, she comes back to you. She hands the list. She says, "Let's run that down to Mr. Henderson and let him start working on that, okay?" And she says, "Let me talk to you for a minute, dear."
Are you open
And
for negotiation?
and she smiles at you and says, "Everything's negotiable." And she kind of pulls you over to the side a little bit, and she says, "So I take it that that would be putting a squeezer on you a little bit. Could be a little bit too expensive for you."
Yeah, a little bit. I'd prefer if I could just get the maybe motion detector and small first aid kit for 1,000. The motion detector and small first aid kit for 1,000. I'd be all right with that.
She says, "Well, of course we can do that, but I have a I have a need, and I think that you could probably help me. You said you're going to Independence, right?
Sure am.
Well, can you drop you're going to Independence, right?
Sure am.
Well, can you drop off a package to me, for me, hon?
What package you talking about?
Oh, I have a little old package. It contains some computer disks and some things like that for a friend of mine. Some things like that for a friend of mine over there in Independence. If you drop it off, I'll knock oh I'll knock off 1,100 credits off the whole order
For everything on my list? For everything on my list?
for everything. So that way it would only be 2,700 credits for everything that you ask for.
Uh,
Just remember you can pay with black market items too. She'll take both credits and black market items. If you look on your credits and black market items, if you look on your sheet, you'll have black market saleable items and or trade items, and then you'll have uh, credits.
How much are you willing to knock off if if I don't go with the goggles?
Oh, let me see. I don't know. I'm giving you a pretty good deal. You said you don't want the goggles?
Nah, it's all right. I can always get them a later time.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's just on my list.
Says, I really just can't go. Another favor?
All right, what is it?
Well, I need you. You take that first package to the Rusty Anchor Saloon in Independence, and you ask for Mama, and you give that to her. Same place. This is for Tommy. And she hands you a little box, and she says, I'll knock another 500 credits off if you can take this little box to Tommy.
All right, sounds like a deal.
Okay. So you got everything on your list, and you got the box?
Said Tommy, and then did you say Mama?
Mama. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
at the Tinker Saloon in Independence.
Absolutely. Okay. So let me address the other list here that came in. She says, she hands yours off. She says, I'll go right down to the store and get this for you. Stuff. So just for reference, she's married to this town's general storekeeper. So uh, just to let you guys know. So just for the sake of time and everything, the Desiree, your stuff is 125 credits. The
Sold.
tar-
Well, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I just want it to be big enough, if we have to throw it over and disguise the vehicle with bushes or something at some point. I just want to have something with us that can disguise us or the vehicle.
I'm sorry, Newton, did you say something?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay. If you guys remember, I believe your vehicle was painted camouflage anyway.
That helps.
Okay.
But it's just good because camouflage is on my list and figured, some extra camo gear probably would be something she'd be looking for.
So she has, let me move to gauge real fast, and pencils, the paper, magnifying. She's got a magnifying glass. She has a regular SDC knives. She has 2 wooden rifle stocks. Looks like one of them used to be well, you can't really tell, but it's probably like a 308 or something like that. Can't really tell, but it's probably like a 308 or something like that. But she has 2 wooden rifle stocks and 2 wooden boxes, and she has the old lantern. And then she has the amber, the garnet, and then she has the amber, the garnet, and she has the onyx. And she said that she would everything she would let it go for 4,900 credits.
Okay. Amber, onyx. What was amber, onyx? What was the other one?
Right. Let's see, diamond, amber, and the onyx, and it was be 4,800 credits.
Okay. And then 2 stocks, the wooden boxes, lantern, the amber, the onyx, the diamond, the amber, the onyx, the diamond, 2 stocks, 2 wooden boxes, and a lantern.
Yeah, she has almost everything else on your list. The gems are a little bit harder to come, but she did have a diamond and the other 2 that I told you.
Okay. And do
So,
they have a carat value? And do
so
they have a carat value? Or does that have to be measured later, like a random dice roll or something?
I'm gonna measure them right now with a random dice roll. Actually,
Okay.
I'll let you roll it.
Sure.
Go ahead. Let's roll for the. Let's say roll for the. Let's say 1 to 30. It's 4 carats on the diamond, and then uh, from 40 to 80, it's 3 carats, and then 80 to 100, it's 2, and then 80 to 100, it's 2. So if you want to roll that, we'll do that 3 times for the each size or for each
Okay.
piece.
So what was the first one? It was 1 to 30 for how many carats?
4,
4 carats. Okay.
4.
4 carats. Okay.
There you go. So you got a 4 carat diamond.
Okay. And then
Okay, that's a 3 carat, whatever the next one was.
3 carat onyx. And then,
Are you going to go ahead and pay her out of your funds?
and you said it was how much? The 4,800.
4,800.
We'll take it out of my black market items.
All right. With that being said, she wishes you well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys, unless you guys need to buy any food rations or anything like that, we're just going to kind of call it good. And we'll do experience points for the night and set up the next game date.